Hey, David, great to be here with you today. My name is Bloss. I started the Lattice work a little over 2 years ago now. And my inspiration for it was I got the opportunity to mentor with someone great, still someone I really admire. And he put these ideas that I had only read about into practice. And it made such an impression on me. And after that, I tried to, find other people, find books that took what I thought were interesting ideas from different fields and explain them simply into how to apply them into your day-to-day life. And I could not find that thing. So I started the Lattice work. It's a group of a few hundred people now from around the world. The idea is that being multidisciplinary is something worth working on, and to make that fun and enjoyable and not dry. So that's kind of the goal of the Lattice work. It's a multidisciplinary community. And let me share my screen really quickly to show you a little bit of what that, please. Yeah. And then this is sort of the ideas manifested in network diagram form, right? So it's obviously imperfect, it's incomplete, but what I found really helpful is to have a roadmap to work towards, a guide to kind of help point the direction a little bit, to understand what some of these big sections are, right? From physics and chemistry to history and family and relationships and how they tie together, right? So by no means is this correct, but hopefully it is useful. And I hope the Lattice work helps people in this way.
I'm definitely sure it does. Thanks to your invitation, I'm part of the community since a couple of weeks. And I have to say that even though I'm only watching it from the sideline until now, I am really blown away by the activity and the depth of dialogues that I found, especially in the WhatsApp group, but also in your web-based community. That's really, really amazing what you built there.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and just really quick on that, David. There's a lot of friction to join, and I've designed it like that on purpose, right? It's not just pay to join. There is an application process. It's $250 a year, so relatively expensive in the grand scheme of things. But that's the point, really, to try to self-select for a group of people who care about this. And it's small, in the grand scheme of things, but it's really tight-knit. It's really open. It's really low ego. So anyway, if that's your jam, I think we're building something pretty fun for those types of people.
Definitely looks like that. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
So round about at the same time, 2 years ago, roughly, me and my co-founder Fabian decided to work on a related topic. And we set out for making thinking easier. We saw this problem that it's very easy to come across a variety of ideas. Like it was never easier to dive into content and new ideas and new perspectives. We basically carry all the world's book in our pocket by now. But we saw that even though the information availability is increasing and increasing, we didn't see that wisdom and the application of all these great ideas is increasing on the same level. And we tried to come up with a solution to that. We found that the problem is that collecting all the good ideas and basically having them on top of mind in the right moment when you actually want to apply them is quite hard. We tried a variety of workflows and systems, like a lot of our audiences will be familiar with the term PKM, for personal knowledge management. And what we found there is like a great variety of tools that helps you to make connections between certain ideas. But what we found is that it comes with a lot of work. And people who live a busy life can't easily set aside half an hour or an hour a day to really structure all their ideas, put it in certain folders, make sure that the tags are correct, and then really build up this discipline of whenever they come into a moment where they have to make a decision, or whenever they come into an inspirational low, really use this collection of knowledge and ideas to help them with the situation. And we tried to make that easier. And what we came up with is what you see on my screen right now. And it's called Napkin. It is a beta version which runs on the desktop. We are currently building out the mobile version. This will take a couple of months until it's live. What you can do right now is join Napkin and have one private, not shared, not collaborative space for collecting the ideas that you want to have an impact on your life. And it works in that way that you throw ideas in, and Napkin sees the topics and the concepts that are behind it. And you have this idea in the middle right now, which Napkin said is about art and productivity, thinking, mindset, and creativity. You see it in the bottom of the card. And in the surrounding, Napkin resurfaced ideas that are from different authors, saved at totally different times, but are still in this account, that are related by the one or the other topic. You see in the top left, for example, this idea is connected because it's both related to art. Or you see in the bottom left, this is connected because it has similarities with thinking and mindset. And now what can you do with it? You can easily browse and freely explore your idea collection now and can say, well, actually, this is an interesting thought. I started off with looking up tips for productivity. Now, this is an interesting thought, and you just click it. And in that moment, you see the related ideas or the most related ideas around this new topic that just came up. And this way, you can freely explore it, browse around, but you can also go into a certain topic. And now I have a playlist of the 10 ideas that are tagged with mental models. And while browsing through them, again, every time with each step, the most relevant ideas to this one in the middle are resurfaced. And feeding it with ideas is pretty easy. When I'm in the Latticework community, I have your great collaborative tool where I can now highlight something and have the possibility to add a comment, and fellow community members can add their comments. That is great. But if I want to have it like in my personal system where I review it regularly, I could just highlight it with a browser extension, do a right click and send it to Napkin. And I can do the same wherever I am on the web, and I can do the same wherever I am on my mobile, because there's also like a tiny mobile application right now which brings Napkin on your share sheet on your iPhones, so that whenever you read something, it's just a second and you send it in without really disrupting your reading flow. And the next time you want to reflect on these ideas, you turn to the mobile, you turn to the app again, open your inbox, and now you see that Napkin thought about, okay, what is this connected to? It came up with philosophy and shows me related ideas based on the tag philosophy. It is also related to wisdom, and come up with a quote by Paul Graham here, for example. And the interesting moment that happens now is not only do I review this idea that I found particularly interesting again and have like a higher chance of actually inheriting it, I can also see connections and go on tangents and jump into different fields that are related to it. Or I can say, well, I read this because I was thinking about how wisdom is actually accumulated. Now seeing an interesting quote here from Paul Graham and think, okay, this is actually quite fitting for my new paper or my new blog article I want to write about it. And that moment, I just drop it on a collection that I already opened, where I am Ryan Holiday talks about having projects on the slow cooker, right? Like you're reading and reading and reading, and you already know like a couple of projects that you're working on. And whenever you come across something in a serendipitous way, you just put it there and have it at hand when you need it. In this case, I can dive in here and now structure the ideas I collected on a certain topic, and basically outline my next blog post. Whenever I think I have my argument structured clearly, I can then easily copy the entire content I have here to my clipboard and then go to any text editor that I like and paste it there and have everything in a linear order again, so that I can then totally write out my topic or write out my blog article.
It's incredibly compelling. And to reiterate a couple of things from my perspective that make Napkin really special is there's no new process flow to learn, right? You're reading your articles just as you do. You just highlight and send it to Napkin. And the fact that these tags are done automatically, you can add your own, of course, but that's
of
really
course. And this,
right.
This is really easy, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the process of adding a tag. And it's always updated in real time. Like if I'm entering a tag that is already in this data set, mental models, for example, you see in that moment I'm adding it, related ideas will be resurfaced and will be back in my awareness.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The simplicity and how easily it fits into your current flow is, to me, what's magical. It's really cool to see, David.
Yeah, I hope that a lot of our fans find Latticework compelling and jump over, and also vice versa. I think the layer of collaboratively working on building wisdom is very important to have momentum, to have inspiring dialogues, to have this personal connection. I think also a system which soon will be in your pocket right now on your laptop, which helps you on a regular basis to have the most important ideas on top of mind, and which makes it really, really fun to dive into a wide variety of topics without having the burden of making the connections between these topics on your own, but getting like a little assistance by Napkin. You can basically view this as a suggestion that Napkin is coming up with. Of course, you're totally free to ignore it entirely and go with your own connections. But I think having this combination as like really a great place to start if you're trying to build up worldly wisdom for yourself.
Couldn't agree more, David. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Blas, and talk soon.
Absolutely. Thanks.